What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Ross the Boss coming at you with an all-new Let's Play Europa Universalis 4. We are continuing our conquest of all of Africa and eventually the exploration and conquest here of the Indian Peninsula. And of course, if we have enough time, we are going to be moving into the Spice Islands to, of course, get one of the best trade incomes in the game. In our last episode, we went ahead and we vassalized this very small province that, of course, is Sunni. We are going to go ahead and because we are their overlord, we are going to improve relations. And we will be going to war against Morocco here very shortly. If we click the diplomatic map mode and we go into Tlemenken here, which is our vassal, you can see they previously had a variety of territories that belonged to their empire, which of course gives us a casus belli to reconquest those territories. And we are going to begin our war against Morocco here very shortly with the hopes of retaking all of those provinces. And luckily for us, we do have an abundance of treasury, and we do have an abundance of manpower. So we are all set to begin our conquest of Morocco. All we need to do is bring these 10,000 troops over as soon as we can. And it looks like they're just sitting here. So let's try one more time. Here we are. And of course, we are on speed 5. We are going to bring this down to about speed 3. And we now have a new seat on the papacy. A new cardinal. All right. We now have 28,000 troops on the North African border. And we are going to begin our war here. Looks like Tunisia will be called in as well. I am curious to see if I should go ahead and produce more units, though I'm not too sure. Let's go ahead and see what Morocco and Tunisia have for their military. We're going to go into armies. Okay, Morocco here only has 11,000 infantry. I could easily wipe them out. Looks like they don't even have any manpower. So any damage we do at all is practically permanent. They won't be able to rejuvenate their forces. Tunisia, on the other hand, is most likely going to be a little stronger. Tunis, only 14,000 troops. We could easily take out all of them at once, and we are going to declare our war. Unfortunately, we do have a truce, which will end in December of 1458. In the meantime, let's go ahead and have all of our ships meet up, get repaired. And I guess we'll go ahead and, because we have to wait a little bit, we'll bring our army maintenance down to about 30%. And we should begin our conquest of Morocco on December of 1458. In the meantime, we have the ability to create a new core. We certainly will. It looks like the Holy Roman Empire has passed their very first reform, moving closer and closer to the consolidation of all of these princes. And if all goes well for the Empire, they will eventually become one country by the end of the game. We did go ahead and create a new state, which means we do have to create some additional cores, which means we already have territories, but they aren't actually considered states just yet. So we are going to have to spend some additional administrative power, which will drop this 50% autonomy down to about either 25% or 0% over time, depending on whether or not we grant these provinces to an estate. In the meantime, we are going to go ahead. This is quite expensive, but it is something I am going to have to do. We are improving relations with our new vassal, and hopefully at the end of this war, we are going to go ahead and return all of the territory possible, and possibly even take these 3 provinces, consolidating our trade node in the Sevilla here. Rebel uprising in Granada, most likely due to the fact that we refuse to aid their traders. And any minute now, we should be diving in. We do have a free diplomat. I would like to improve relations with France, though I don't expect to be offering them an alliance anytime soon, mostly because I don't want to get dragged into wars with Burgundy. And of course, I might even declare war on France if England or Burgundy were to unrival me. Now, of course, I have improved relations with Austria. I could go ahead and offer them an alliance. And you know what? I may go ahead and do that right now. We haven't begun our vassalization of Navarra. And hopefully, before this next war here in December of 1458, we will begin our vassalization of Navarra. Disloyal estates. Estates demand control of provinces. Looks like the clergy believe they are entitled to more lands. Of course, you could see here that we do have a variety of estuaries. If we go into our trade node, we now have Porto and Lisboa. Neither of them have an estate. It would be of our benefit to give these provinces to the burghers because their trade power will drastically improve. You can see here in just a moment, we've gone up quite a bit of trade power, and now Lisboa will move from 26 to about 45. Oh my goodness. And just like that, we've easily gone up about 30 trade power, which is absolutely ridiculous. Moving closer and closer to 190 for Navarra. And of course, as soon as we are done improving relations with France, I will attempt to offer Austria an alliance, just so we can go ahead and begin working on some favors and possibly a little bit of trust as well. I do plan on going to war with the Ottomans. I do plan on going to war with France, though I would like some additional help from Burgundy and England. Unfortunately, both of these countries have rivaled me. A looming disaster, a plutocratic coup. Unfortunately, our trade efficiency... our trade efficiency has haunted us because we granted them 2 provinces. Hopefully, this influence will drop in 1466, 8 years. It is quite far away. The clergy, of course, believe they are still entitled to land. I am going to give them this mountainous grain province that is practically useless. And we will see where this takes us. We are now in November, moving closer and closer to our goal of declaring war, but I don't believe I'm going to declare war until I begin my annexation of Navarra and offer Austria an alliance. I won't be, requesting Austria to come to my aid, but, I want those favors to start ticking up. I want to get better relations. I believe Austria will be a very powerful ally, especially if I declare war on, Venice or the Ottomans. I could obviously cede some of the Venetian territory to Austria while conquering smaller provinces like Albania. Surprisingly enough, they haven't been taken over yet, and it's been 15 years. Okay, so now, of course, we have the opportunity to declare war on Morocco. Portugal, of course, ends in 1462, so we have 3 years to take all of these provinces. And unfortunately, we are maxed out on manpower for the time being. So it is kind of a waste to not... it's not as efficient because you don't get any bonuses for maximum manpower. And any moment now, we should be at 190. I am going to offer Austria an alliance. Hopefully, they will say yes. Austria is allied to the Castilian rival Aragon. Very unfortunate. In the meantime, I don't think I want to offer France an alliance because I would like to take them out very soon. Though, of course, I could declare war on... who are they allied with? Brittany. I could declare war on England, of course. Take this very small province. Which of course is woods terrain. Not necessarily as good as my mountains, but I would have a little bit more trade power in the Bordesian trade node. Not very much. I guess we'll see what happens. Our Grenadian separatists, pretty sure it's not, there should be an I in there. Let's go ahead and improve our army maintenance just a tad bit more. And in 1 month, we should begin our annexation of Navarra. And we will, of course, begin to declare war. Here is our annexation. Recall our diplomat. And we are about to declare war on Morocco. We still have to be aware of this plutocratic coup, rebel uprisings, of course. And, yeah. I'm very curious to see. I could have... They do have some forts here, which means I could go ahead and bring my ships through the Straits of Gibraltar. Or, of course, I could go ahead and just move my units and not even need ships. In the meantime, let's just declare war. Kind of sick of waiting. We want to go for the Reconquest Casus Belli and not the Conquest Casus Belli. I would like to return to Lemenken, their capital, and we are now in a war. We are going to go ahead and block off the Straits of Gibraltar and move our way in. Hopefully, looks like we have our heir here, Enrique. He does have one siege. He will begin sieging down this province compared to some other countries or some other counties because, of course, this has a castle and the siege modifier is very helpful. Now, I am a little worried that Aragon might declare war on me, especially while I am in a, offensive war against Morocco. It might be of good, of Castilian interest here to just offer France an alliance, though I am in a war right now, so they are highly reluctant. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm going to move these troops down. Hopefully we can take out these Moroccans. Only about 14,000 troops, though our troops are of a higher superior quality. And I may go ahead and move these 28 ships over to the Gulf of Almeria. And if all goes according to plan, we should be getting a small blockade on this province. And of course, we should be able to take out these Moroccans very easily. We have a heavy ship. They have 0 heavy ships. Unfortunately, they do have some galleys, and we do not. And it looks like they have crossed into Iberia because we moved our fleet. Unfortunately, we are going to lose that battle. And we are about to be engaged. Luckily for us, we do have an abundance of manpower. We are in a -1 terrain penalty because we are fighting in the Highlands. And it looks like they are going to send more and more of their units into the slaughter. I'm wondering if we could take out these 13,000 troops as well. And it looks like we will. Though we do have a -1 terrain penalty again. Fortunately, we did lose a variety of trade ships, which unfortunately was very expensive. This province only requires 6 units to be sieged down. We are going to leave Enrique there, of course. And have these other units begin taking over some smaller provinces. Now, if we could go ahead and get fixed up, I will begin having another very small blockade. As soon as we can get everybody to 100% durability, looks like we're just waiting on this bark. And, of course, some very small transport ships. The last jousting tournament. We can feel it in the wind. Soon our equestrian elite will be nothing more than a dream remembered as the chivalrous traditions dies out before the onslaught of modernity. The world is changing, but for now, for one last time, let the Knights of Castile ride. Forward to glory, we will take some additional morale of armies, yearly army tradition, and yearly prestige, at least for the next 20 years. Of course, we could decline this and lose 5 prestige, which obviously is not good either. Having the additional morale will certainly be very, very powerful. And I think what I would like to do is try to do a very small blockade here, at least until this siege is over. And then have my ships be repaired once again. Looks like we have a wall breach. And we could go ahead and order an assault, though it would be very, very costly. We would lose a lot of manpower. I'm not too sure exactly what I plan to do. Navarra here is about to be annexed, and unfortunately they haven't sent their 3,000 units down to help anytime soon. As soon as we go ahead and we annex, Navarra here, I will go ahead and build a castle. It looks like they already have one, but under this building slot they do not. Most likely because this is their capital province, and every capital province has some form of a castle, even though if there isn't actually one there. They have a better defense than a variety of others. And I am going to go ahead and move in for another blockade. And hopefully we could begin sieging down a variety of new areas. Integration is a slow process. The royal family in Aragon will learn of the pleasantries exchange. 10 diplomatic power. And of course, we now have completed our mission. We could, of course, conquer Laborde, which might be very nice. Rival of our rival. Venice's opinion of Castile is at 100. Don't know if I want to become an ally with Venice. I could solidify our papal relations or conquer Laborde. My next war goal will most likely be Portugal, and then most likely in North Africa again. So I don't think I'm going to be going and attacking this monster of a country of England. I am going to solidify our papal relations and head over to the Pope, improve relations as much as we can, try to get us to positive 100. And in the meantime, we are attempting to siege down this province, and we have finally completed it. Is it possible to siege down 2 provinces at once? And it doesn't look like we can without using our fleet. And we will certainly try that. We are going to have to go... unfortunately, this province of Fez is not actually a coastal province and could be quite dangerous. Now, if we go to Tunisia here, my main goal would be to return some of this lost territory and maybe even take another territory as well. I would get a lot of aggressive expansion. And it looks like we have a small naval skirmish going on here. I will certainly take the papal influence, at least for the time being. Not too sure if we are going to win this skirmish. Nope, definitely leaving. Now, I do need to be on the lookout here. Fez is a mountainous province, so if any unit decides to declare war and attacks me, I will, of course, be on the offensive, taking this mountainous terrain. Yep, this could be very, very bloody, and I'm very concerned this won't work out in our favor because we have the -2 terrain penalty. Though we do have far superior troops, I see Tunisia is making their way in as well. How is our looming disaster, the plutocratic coup? It's gaining +1 every single month. And of course, we have 25% of the way, so that means 75 more months until our disaster strikes. Have we made any progress here on the siege of Fez? Unfortunately, no. And we have Moroccan troops making their way over as well. Hopefully we can get some type of food shortage or water shortage, or even break down these walls. Supply shortage, not the best, but it did go down by -7%. And of course, we are losing a little bit of money because we did lose a variety of manpower. As I stated, this war could be very bloody, at least for the time being. And I believe I will go ahead, because Tlemenken here is such a small province, I think I will begin to go to our subject map mode and enforce religion as soon as, of course, Tlemenken is in the positives. Which is right now. Enforcing religion, they obviously hate me very, very much with a high liberty desire. But I am going to return some territory, and hopefully they will like me once again. Now, it looks like the clergy estate has lost 10 influence. That is very nice. Granada here is about to fall. But of course, Fez has been being sieged down for 220 days with very, very little progress. I could go ahead and try to send my troops over. I'm not too sure how much more powerful our troops are compared to the Tunisians. I do have the extra morale of armies because we have the Army Reformer. I am on Military Technology 5. Tunis is on Military Technology 5. This is Drylands. So, doesn't look like the enemy would necessarily get any type of negative modifier. I think I'm going to go ahead and play my cards safe, at least for the time being. And finally, we did get a walls breached. That is very nice to see. And of course, I am going to be constructing my castle here in Navarra, destroying the one in Vizcaya, because having a castle in a grasslands compared to a mountain isn't necessarily the best idea. Going to try to squeeze out as much defense as we possibly can. Looks like we do have another supply shortage here in Fez. That is very nice to see. Alright, well, I am going to go ahead and end this episode here. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in our next episode.